What is up, everybody? Superverse here today. So, you have an article from Push Square which talks about Sony plans to launch 10 PS5/PS4 live service games by March 2026. So, Sony is making a big push for these live service games now, which a lot of people are not happy with. But Sony definitely has a weak online game presence, so they're trying to, I guess, improve that, and that's probably one of the reasons why they got Bungie. So let's get into this article. So Sony appears to be all in on plans to expand its portfolio beyond big budget single player experiences. It has confirmed it has 10 live service games in the works. They all plan to release by March 2026. So we know one of them might be about like a Twisted Metal game. I'm pretty sure the Twisted Metal game is probably going to be that because we know they're working on a Twisted Metal game, so that might be one of them. Supporting comments made by bosses Jim Ryan and Harmon Host, Chief Financial Officer Hiroki Totoki spoke of how PlayStation Studios will learn from Bungie. Yeah, that's definitely why they acquired Bungie. Now we see the real reason why they got Bungie. They want a big focus on these live service games. Okay, then. So Totoki said, our studios will learn from Bungie. That is a strong wish we have that Bungie's side is willing to work closely with us. A new Bungie IP will also mentioned during the earnings call. So they have a new IP they're working on, which is pretty interesting. I'm wondering if that is going to be a multi-platform exclusive, because we know they had a statement that said that their upcoming game is going to be multi-platform. So that one is still, I'm assuming it's going to be multi-platform, but we still don't know yet. But let's just continue. A new Bungie IP was also mentioned during the earnings call, which was initially aided by $100 million injection of cash. I don't care about any of that. It's clear that Destiny's developer Bungie will play a large role in bringing these 10 live service titles to the market in the next couple of years. Naughty Dog has multiplayer adaptation of The Last of Us. Yep, so that might be one as well. The Last of Us Factions mode for the new one. That might be a live service game that they're working on. The Twisted Metal reboot is expected to fit this mode. Yeah, so this is definitely a thing now. Yeah, so this is definitely a thing. They're definitely focusing on their multiplayer game presence, because it does kind of make sense. Because when you look at Microsoft, it makes sense why they charge you to play online. But Sony doesn't really make sense because they mainly only focus on single player games. So I guess it gives you a reason to justify why you're paying for their online service, because they're gonna up their online multiplayer game roster. So let's see what people have to say about this. Yay, can you sense my hype? I'm assuming he's sarcastic about that. Yay. Live service games, I don't mind in the slightest as long as this is in addition to their usual releases, and time will tell on that. I do worry that this is Sony going for the casual cash cow, which has eluded their first party games. This is a hard crowd to pull in and relies on having a lucky zeitgeist moment on top of a good game. Anyway, this stuff isn't for me, and if it ends up being the route they take, then I will play less and less PlayStation. We will see. Okay. Let's see. I don't really play online, but certainly it's the right move. Even the most popular exclusives don't hit 30 million, but the console usually hits over 100 million plus. There's a large untapped market for Sony, but as we are in a bubble, it might not seem like it. Yuck, this better be a compliment to Sony's existing model and not to replace it. I fully understand why they want to pursue this model, but it can be to the detriment of their core fan base. I am starting to think that I might have to look for a new hobby in the next few years. That's a little bit extreme. I mean, if he has all three consoles, then I'm pretty sure you can go to other consoles. I mean, that's a bit extreme right there. Jim Ryan sucks. Bring back Sean. Bring Mr. Layden back. They want Jim Ryan gone? Jeez. Isn't he making Sony the most money right now? I'm pretty sure he's not being fired anytime soon. I can almost sense that come this time this generation comes to an end, the next one starts single player will become an afterthought until they finish completely. EA were ahead of the trend when they said single player games are not the future, or whatever it was. Again, I may be cynical, but I can see this being the case. People will panic about this, but the single player games are going absolutely nowhere. Sony takes too much pride in their narrative driven experiences. It's the main draw to their console. Yeah. Well, this is potentially depressing. The main reason I like PlayStation is their community of single player games without microtransactions. Multiplayer just isn't fun once you're older and don't have lots of friends who also want to play the same games as you. Let's see. Nintendo doesn't make games that appeal to me, and many others who game on PlayStation. I'm looking forward to God of War / Uncharted like experiences, and they never managed to show that they can pull something like that off. Y'all are being too negative / judging too early and harshly. I think that while Sony doesn't care about us, they still have to care about what pleases us as consumers. We, as their primary monetary source, after all, a live service game can be great if not begging all the time for your money. It just depends on what is your primary reason to make live service games, really for money or because it suits your vision. So basically, Nintendo will be the main single player console, while PlayStation and Microsoft go the online games route, which is not good for gaming in general. That's like $500 million at least spent on 10 live service instead of 10 world-class single player exclusives that Sony are known for. Sony has to give you a reason to pay for the online services. That's probably the main reason why they're doing this, because they can't be like, hey, we want to charge you for online, but we don't have any multiplayer games in our first-party studios. So I kind of see why they're doing this, to be honest. Let's see. I'm always surprised how Sony can fail their fans and not read the room, even more since the PS5 launched, LOL. LOL, this means 10 studios are busy with developing gritty multiplayer games instead of making ones their players want. 10 live service games are absolutely overkill. And that's fine, everyone's entitled to their own opinion and preference. Personally, I think it's just going to go that way. At present, I think Sony and Nintendo are on equal ground for great quality games and IPs, but the appeal to Nintendo for me personally has always been simplicity. I'm a huge fan of the Legend of Zelda series. Okay. Jack Trennan, please. Miss that guy. Okay. They really want Jim Ryan gone. I'm personally worried about this news because what will happen if live service games proves to be more popular than Sony's single player experiences? When Sony sees that live service games is giving them much more revenue compared to the single player experiences, they're going to focus more on live service titles. I mean, just look at Rockstar right now. Yeah, Rockstar is a bad example. They don't even make like GTA 5 single player content. They only focus on GTA Online right now. And because GTA 5 being so successful, they haven't really pushed for making other Rockstar games that people want back, like Bully, another Bully game. People wanted that back. A lot of classic games or just sequels they haven't released yet because GTA Online is a great success. So let's see. Sony should buy Konami and make a proper live service game out of Pro Evo. Sports game with purpose for live service. I've never understood these really resets every time you buy the next version, and live service makes far more sense. Because live services are always guaranteed a success, aren't they? After all, that's why Destruction All-Stars remains such an incredible... Oh, wait. Yeah, that game flopped. Well, nice to see Jim Ryan has only learned that the best thing to do is triple down on a model that is hit or miss at best, and thus have far been an absolute failure for games such as Anthem, Avengers, Destruction All-Stars, and that Battle Royale that Ubisoft is cutting their losses on. And Lord knows I'm meant to continue pretending that this man has PlayStation's best interests at heart. This man who just threw down $3 billion on Bungie just to boast about how it's not going to benefit PlayStation owners. They are really mad right now. they are definitely mad at Jim Ryan right now the most. Jeez. Do they honestly think that this is what PlayStation players want to hear? These people are seriously delusional. Save these type of messages for behind closed door investor meetings. I think it's a pretty smart business decision because trying to replicate Destiny's success worked out really, really well for all of the games that tried it. So why not just do tens of these for 10 times the success? Now let's see. There's clearly a demand for games as a service, and there's an example of games that would do it well. So why would anyone think Sony wouldn't want to venture into this area with their games? Naive to say the least. As for the fear of Sony shutting down studios that don't perform well, you know what will get studios shut down faster? If Sony isn't able to compete, react, and adapt to what's happening in the industry and remain profitable, they're continuing to take risks and innovate with PSVR 2, and they decide to open up another revenue stream via games as a service. I wish them luck and hope they do it in a fashion that benefits us all. Time will tell, so I'll reserve judgment until I see what's in store. Okay. Give them benefit of the doubt before poo-pooing the whole idea. Sony has an excellent reputation with the first output, so just because they're announced 10 games as a service doesn't mean that they'll be as cynical as you're expecting, and that certainly isn't the cost of them continuing to develop stellar titles. Yeah. No one wants this. We all love PlayStation for the single-player games, and looking at past games in the live service area, very few actually make a success of it. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, just from reading this stuff, I don't think that if they made that the Last of Us multiplayer thing be a games as a service game, I don't see that being too bad because it's only PvP anyway. Instead of just doing annually updates to it, you just annual I guess like a new multiplayer with a new Last of Us game comes out, they can just keep updating annually, so or quarterly. So I mean, it's not as bad as people making it out to be. I don't think it's that huge of a deal. But like they said, only time would truly tell about this whole thing because people are just freaking out about this right now. And unexpected move, but the number seems a bit high. I just hope there's actual variety and not just a dozen Sony brand battle royales. Such a fickle market, I guess the only way of making sure one sticks around long term. I've been giving Sony $6 a year for PlayStation Plus and barely using it for a few years now because there's not really a good multiplayer game out now. Also, Microsoft might make one of the biggest multiplayer games, Call of Duty, into an Xbox exclusive and take a lot of money and potential gamers away from Sony. This is a move that Sony have to do to keep their business sustainable for the long term. Yeah, that makes sense. What does games as live service mean? Does that mean where a game gets turned into a movie or TV show? Okay, so I'm not going to explain that. Okay. Gamers, EA, and Ubisoft are trash. They only make microtransactions live service trash. Also, gamers, Sony should make only make single player games, proper games. Okay. Just when we all had enough of Ubisoft live service garbage, Sony decides to take over. So I'm gonna conclude it right here. We get the gist of it. Most people don't want these live service games, but we haven't really seen anything yet. Like we had a few blunders from Sony end with like they said, a Destruction All Stars game and an Avengers game, which wasn't a Sony exclusive, but we see how that game got ruined being a games as a service game though. But yeah, people are not feeling these live service games right now. But like I said, only time will tell. So definitely want to see your thoughts down below about Sony major push for to have live service games as a major priority. Leave a like if you like this video. And as always, thanks for watching and peace.